If we made a documentary of gym bros in their natural habitat, these are the exercises he'd be doing. This, and this. Now, they're all good exercises, don't get me wrong, but they'll leave you stiff as a board. If you want to look good, but also feel good, and I mean functional, healthy, and athletic, you want to incorporate these 5 S-tier exercises that nobody else does. Let's get into it. So the first exercise that not enough people do is a game changer for your entire posterior chain, and it's what's called negative Nordics, which basically means Nordic curls done in reverse. The Nordic curl originated from Scandinavian gymnastics, and then it was popularized by the ice hockey player Marty St. Louis, and then in modern days it was popularized, of course, by knees over toes guy, and it was initially made for athletes to prevent hamstring injury, but very quickly people started understanding how powerful it was, not just for building very resilient and strong hamstrings. It was actually very, very good for hitting the entire posterior chain. Now, a Nordic curl unassisted is actually very, very difficult to perform, but what do you do when you cannot do an exercise without any assistance? The first thing is not to go on some assisted machine, but to do the movement as a negative. So if you can't do a chin-up yet, the first thing you should be working up towards after dead hangs is a negative chin-up. If you can't do bodyweight dips yet, the first thing you should be thinking about doing is doing negative dips. So when I found that I couldn't do a Nordic yet, I just started doing negative Nordics, which basically means having some kind of padding or bench in front of you and going down until you hit the bench and then pushing yourself up from it. The negative is just that going down portion, and this alone will activate all the muscles that you use for a normal Nordic curl, and you quickly find it's the Achilles, it's the calves, it's the hamstrings, it's the glutes, it's the lower back, mid back, even upper back, and your neck muscles get tensed up. But anybody that wants to improve not just their athletic performance but their health in the posterior chain, all the muscles in the back of their body, I would incorporate negative Nordics into your routine. Next, weighted knee raises. Now when you think about ab exercises, of course we have hanging leg raises, which are very good, and we have Russian twists, ab wheels, all kinds of things, but you end up having to do a lot of reps. It has that kind of burning sensation, which is not that pleasant. Now the abs are actually just like every other muscle in your body. They respond to growth in strength. If you get stronger with those abs, if you hit it with heavier and heavier weight, progressively overloaded, your abs will grow. This is how I'm able to have what looks like abs even with more fat than the normal average person, because I trained my abs to be strong, not just do tons and tons of reps of the traditional ab exercises. And another thing that the weighted knee raise has that most ab exercises don't is it really loads the hip flexor. And the hip flexor, if you do martial arts or any sports, is the most important part of the human body. It's where all the power is generated in jiu-jitsu. In boxing, when you punch, a lot of it is coming from the hip torque. When you do a bridge, in jiu-jitsu specifically, bringing your knees to your elbows, bringing your guard up. Even in kickboxing, bringing your knees up, your knee kicks, your leg kicks, all of that is in that hip flexion, hip extension. So strengthening the hip flexor is probably the most underrated thing in the entire fitness space. Not to mention that it actually has really good positive benefits for posture and back health as well. If you want to kill 3 birds with 1 stone, where you get sexy abs, strong hip flexors, and train your grip strength at the same time, which is another very, very functional thing you can do, then absolutely incorporate weighted knee raises into your routine. Start with the lowest weight and slowly build up. I like to mix these in with my hanging leg raises and hanging knee raises, so you can have a little progression model like that. Of course, just while we're on it, the topic of grip strength is extremely important. I didn't put dead hangs in there, even though they are absolutely an S-tier exercise, because a lot of people do train dead hangs, and this is about what people don't usually do. Now, when you do weighted knee raises, you're basically doing weighted dead hangs, which is a great way to build up grip strength, which is an indicator of longevity. There's a correlation between your grip strength and how long you live. Work on your grip strength, incorporate weighted knee raises into your routine. Let me know how you like it. Next is what I call hip sit backs. Now, I actually came across this exercise when I was doing foundation training for my lower back. And if you know the exercise Good Mornings, which is another exercise that doesn't get done enough, you will see this movement where you have your hips going back and your upper body, your torso, is almost rotating and sinking into that. So what that's working is not just the hip flexibility, you're also working the adductors, the abductors, the glutes, the lower back, all at the same time. Hip sit backs, I think one of the reasons that makes this good is that it's a body weight exercise, so you can do it anywhere. Whereas if you want to do back extensions, if you wanted to do RDLs and Good Mornings, you usually need some kind of gym setup. A hip sit back you could literally do just anywhere in the world, and it's like an amazing stretch. And when it's done with the right way, it's very good for opening up the hips. You'll notice immediately after doing it, you just feel really great. How do you do this? You just basically spread your legs almost like you're doing a split. And the wider you spread your legs, the harder it becomes. And you can kind of play around with the width of your legs. And you want to really retract the hips as a way to bring your upper body down. Now, if you're somebody that wants to learn how to do Romanian deadlifts and all of these deadlift exercises where they tell you to push your hips back to start the movement, the hip sit back is a great way to practice that hip retraction. And it's going to really show you. It's going to light up your hamstrings. It's going to light up the adductors. It's going to light up the glutes and your lower back. So it's very good for your lower back health, very good for hip flexibility. Now, if you're wondering, is there a routine that is designed specifically for building that functional body? Then there is the functional body blueprint that I made, which you can get inside of my free community. I'll leave a link for that free community down below so you can go grab that. Next is the Jefferson curl. I learned this from Knees Over Toes guy again when I was going through back pain. The reason it's probably not done a lot is a lot of people hurt their back when they round it, like they're picking up something heavy or something happened in that position, and all the doctors or images, it has the spine bent like this way, and then there's pain coming out the other side. The disc is protruding, the herniated disc. You're almost told not to bend your back like that or to round your back. But if you think about the human spine, it's pretty reasonable to think that it's supposed to be able to bend and flex in all the directions. And that is in fact the case. You want to practice Jefferson curls as well as back extensions, as well as the Nordics and back extensions that's all about flexing the back upwards. You do want to get the spine flexible in the other direction and move it through the full range of motion. When you do a Jefferson curl properly, almost like bending your body as a fishing rod, you will feel that the spine, the lower back really kind of decompresses and allows more space for the discs for those that have protruding discs or herniated discs. So combining Jefferson curls and back extensions is one of the best ways that you can target your lower back, get it bulletproof. And if you're somebody that's experiencing pain, those two exercises done with body weight and then slowly building up to weighted versions is one of the best ways to get your back to become painless. Next, and it's what I call the Y face pull. I almost called it the Wanhee face pull, but I didn't want to say that I invented it, but I genuinely have not seen anyone do it. Let me set a little bit of context. I have had some shoulder injuries in the past, in the gym and in jiu-jitsu. A lot of shoulder injuries originate from a weak external rotation, weak rotator cuffs, and specifically weakness in external shoulder rotation. A lot of us live the world with internal caved in shoulder rotation, internal rotation, bench press, all of this is very strong. But when it comes to opening up your chest, rotating your wrist behind your elbows, this is what opens up our posture and gives us that health in the shoulder. The external rotators are weak in most people, and it's that imbalance that causes a lot of shoulder pain. So there are a lot of exercises like the face pull that can help with shoulder health, and specifically to strengthen external rotation. Now, if you do a face pull like this, which is what most people do, there is no external rotation, but you can rotate your arms so that your wrists go behind the elbows and forms this kind of trident with your head. And this is a way you can train the external rotators. So that was the face pull. Now, it doesn't end there. What you also want to do is light up all of the muscles in the back, the neck, the scapula, the rhomboids. And what I saw in a shoulder rehab video, and this I believe was from a YouTube channel called Squat University. He does a lot of injury rehab stuff. Again, I was going through this with my shoulder injury, and he had his clients have a resistance band wrapped around both of his wrists, and he would have them push the band apart, which again is working the external rotators, the scapulas, the rhomboids. As they were pushing them apart, he would have them extend fully upwards. And so they were resisting this internal movement by trying to stretch it out. And at the same time, all of the muscles around the shoulder blade, they were just getting lit up. And I thought, why not combine the face pull with this extension to completely destroy neck, scapula, rhomboids, rear delt, all at the same time. And I started using this whenever I felt that kind of shoulder pain after jiu-jitsu, and it was just the most effective thing that got rid of that painful sensation. I'm not saying it's gonna magically cure your injury, but I would highly recommend you try this if you experience some kind of shoulder pain. And even if you don't, it's one of the best exercises for opening up your posture, because you're not only doing the external rotations, you're really just stretching it, holding that position, and engaging all the muscles that you do need for good posture. Every client that I show this to, they're like, that was awesome, I feel great, and they just naturally sit wider after having tried that exercise. And those are the 5 S-tier exercises that are versatile, that are absolutely going to make you healthier, more functional, and feel better as soon as you do them. That's probably the common characteristic of all these exercises, is that when you do it, even though they can be challenging, afterwards you feel like your body just got healthier. That's literally how it feels, like a really good stretch. Again, if you want to get the routine that incorporates all of this, teaches you how to not just do them, organizes it in the right way, teaches you the progression and the regression, so you know exactly how to get to these exercises and get strong on them to bulletproof your body and get super healthy, you can grab the functional body blueprint that's inside of my free community. I'm going to leave the link for that below as well. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.